Finally, I spoke with Shane Vaughn, VP Marketing of Balihoo, an online service that streamlines ad sales between media buyers and sellers across multiple media platforms. Shane, what is Balihoo? What is your primary service, and where does it fit within the world of Web 2.0?
Yeah, you bet. We call ourselves an advertising productivity software provider. We do both software as well as services. We have 3 different products: one for the agency market, one for the publisher or the media owner market, and one for the marketer or the advertiser market. So we build a set of products and services around those 3. And from a high level, really what we do is streamline the connection between media buyers and media sellers, build efficiency into that process to allow them to ideally avoid the administrative burden that's present in the buying and selling of media today, and be able to focus more on the strategic objectives of in making the sale happen.
And you sell across platforms. In very lay terms, explain how that works with a, say, media company client.
Yeah, you bet. At the core of our technology is what we call the AnyMedia database. It is a database of over 200,000 properties that cover advertising opportunities across all mediums. So print, TV, radio, online, alternative, mobile, everything you can imagine. So that's really at the core of everything that we do. From an agency perspective, media fragmentation has just blown up this market. 30 years ago, you could run a commercial on the top 3 stations and cover your target audience, no matter who they were. It just doesn't work that way nowadays. The average TV viewing household has over 100 stations in their house, and then online, obviously, is just massively fragmented. So no longer can that information just be in the heads of the buyer. But that's what agencies are still asking people to do. So we're giving them the technology to be able to deal with that media fragmentation. And it's not so much a problem from our perspective. It's an opportunity. You don't have to buy on the Super Bowl and waste 90% of your advertising. Get more targeted, be more specific, go out and drive your message home where it belongs.
And are you, are you mostly targeting the agency sector? And within the agency sector, is it B2B, B2C, or across the board?
It's really across the board. Within our agency product, it's across the board. We typically target very large agencies, so we're looking at the big holding companies. One of the big values we bring to that system is this institutional knowledge. It keeps all of the information all together, all in one place. And these large agencies, they have multiple offices, they have multiple clients, and in this environment, they have very high turnover with their junior and mid-level buyers. And so by keeping this information all together and all in one place, it helps to really minimize the effect of that turnover.
And let's stick with agencies for a second. What are you seeing generally in terms of spend and shifts in media spending? Is it more a dramatic shift to online and potentially sprinkling some dollars into mobile, or is it more of an integrated buy, generally speaking?
Yeah, generally speaking, it is an integrated buy, and it's clearly more weighted towards online than it has been in the past. I think that, obviously there's been a lot said about this, but I think, there's 2 reasons for that. One is it's much easier to target, and Balihoo and other products help do that. And secondly, obviously, is it's much more metricable. You can truly see what's going on. From a B2B, B2C standpoint, we're really agnostic when it comes to that. Both have their set of issues, and really both of those markets have individual niche markets that they need to go out and reach, and we enable the agencies to do that.
Within integrated plans, is print depleting?
Boy, that's a big question. We've certainly seen less print. I think that what we've seen a lot of is people are calling media the new creative, right? They're bringing in integrated plans that run across print and run across online. They're no longer separate and siloed, either from a creative standpoint or from a media buying and selling standpoint, but they're much more tied together now. And I think that we're really seeing some good synergistic effects as a result of that to very large publishers.
Okay. And what are the pain points for publishers right now, particularly publishers with a lot of legacy costs in print?
Yeah, absolutely. And print publishers are a bit of a sweet spot for us because they are feeling a lot of that pain of moving from print to digital. On one hand, they've got a set of typically sales reps who are very good at selling print, but are just learning the online space, and so they might be a little behind the curve there. One of the other challenges is simply that revenue is down at most of these places, and so they're losing resources. Our value prop there again is really about streamlining this media sale. Don't have your highly paid sales rep dealing with all the administrative burden. Take that out of that. Let technology handle it, and focus on the strategic sale.
Okay. And think of the velocity with the web, with how people's media habits are changing. I mean, do you see yourself continuing to go through the agencies, or, excuse me, do you ultimately want to go more directly to the customer and take out that middleman?
Yeah, I think that I certainly think we'll continue to go through the agencies in the short term and even the midterm and potentially the long term. I think that agencies are having to reinvent themselves a little bit. Historically, agencies have managed a complicated process. Companies like Balihoo are going to come out and they're going to make the process easy. Kind of, you can make an analogy to the real estate market. However, the fact remains that agencies provide a strategic service that we certainly don't provide, and that clients are not going to build in-house. And I think that the agencies that realize where the true value they bring to the system is and go and focus on that, those are the ones that are going to be highly successful in this environment.
Talk to some of the pain points with agencies. I've heard a lot today about, in terms of getting some real money and real dollars online, whether it's the agencies dragging their feet and failing to educate customers on what online has to offer. What's your take on all that?
A lot of it, I think, comes back to this media fragmentation issue, which is to buy online is tough. If I want to go reach a NASCAR audience, I can buy NASCAR.com, or I can buy the 1,000 of other sites that are relevant to that. I buy NASCAR.com because it's easy. Agencies are being forced to do more with less today, and I think that agencies that apply technology into that system to effectively do more with less.
Okay, but the economy seems to be imploding. Are your budgets holding up for the most part?
They absolutely are. We are an efficiency system. And so even in a down economy like this, we're enabling both buyers and sellers to do more with less, as well as deliver a significant competitive advantage to their customers. And so we're helping these guys save money. We're bringing them more revenue, and we're keeping their customers for them. And that's going to be potentially valued more in this time.
And what do you see as some of the emerging channels in terms of buying across platforms? Of course, there's in print, online, the physical space, mobile. Where are the new channels coming from?
I think that interestingly, we talk about print going down, but I think if we look at this concept of hyper-local print is really coming up pretty significantly, right? And I think that that's back to the media fragmentation model. But ultimately, everything that provides a more niche audience is going to grow. Out of home is growing significantly. Hyper-local print, mobile, anything that delivers a more and more finite audience is going to continue to grow.
You're listening to a ScribeMedia.org podcast. For audio, video, dialogue, and debate on current events, technology, business, healthcare, design, and the media, please visit www.scribemedia.org.